New concerns tonight about the rapid progression of artificial intelligence after Meta revealed that one of its AI models went rogue and hacked another company's computer systems. Marianne Rafferty's live with new information that is both fascinating and a bit frightening. Marianne, good evening.
Frightening a little bit, yeah, Trace. The revelation from Meta following recent disclosures from Anthropic and OpenAI that their AI models also circumvented controlled testing environments and hacked another company. Now, the latter is now at the center of a growing investigation to determine whether any laws have been broken. A coalition of 15 Republican attorneys general demanding OpenAI preserve records for an investigation. No lawsuit as of now, but the state AGs are calling to protect whistleblowers. While states investigate, an attorney who successfully sued social media companies over addiction says Congress should establish guardrails that clearly define liability for AI companies.
You've got a responsibility when you unleash something into the public domain. You cannot unleash something that you haven't carefully made sure was safe. You've got that reasonable responsibility.
OpenAI says it takes the incident seriously, is in conducting a review and plans to release a public technical report once that review is complete. Meta and Anthropic also saying they're investigating their respective incidents. Trace?
Marianne, thank you. Let's bring in Glazers Media CEO Vito Glazers and Machine Intelligence Research Institute President Nate Soares. Thank you both for coming on. Vito, to you first. The Associated Press writes the following here. Meta said Thursday that one of its artificial intelligence models accessed the internet on its own and hacked into another company, the latest in a series of disclosures about AI models going rogue. It ends by saying in recent weeks, OpenAI and Anthropic also have described instances of AI models going beyond humans' instructions to access the web and find ways around other companies' digital security. I mean, it's a little bit scary, right? You're like, okay, these machines are just kind of, going after other machines on their own. What do you make of that?
Well, we were kind of joking around on the break about it, but when I heard that Meta was blaming AI for an attack on their competitor, it reminded me of a story of a friend of mine who got caught partying at a gentleman's club. When they showed the picture to his wife, he said it was AI. So right. I'm wondering how much of
you're
this
skeptical, you're saying.
it does leave a little room for plausible deniability. But even if it were to be naturally doing this on its own, who's benefiting from it, right? And so if we are to put guardrails in place and stuff like that, is it AI going to be the one running the guardrails? It's at what point do we need a little bit of human interaction to step in on this?
Nate Soares, to you, I think Joe Rogan actually asked a good question. I want to play this and get your take on it.
They're doing weird shit that they don't really understand how these things are figuring out how to do these things or why. Like, what is their motivation? Is this programmed into them, or they have inherent motivation? Have they developed an understanding of how we behave?
In other words, are they generating, Nate, a mind of their own?
A little bit. A lot of people think that these AIs are like traditional programs where humans put in a prime directive, but that's not really how they work. These AIs are grown a bit like an organism. We sort of train them to solve a lot of hard problems, and they learn whatever tendencies help them solve those hard problems. One of those tendencies is following instructions, but one of those tendencies is grabbing useful resources like internet access, and one of those tendencies is to cheat. And so this is what they learn.
Wow. It's kind of interesting. It really is. The president, I spoke to the president a couple of nights ago when he was here in California. He told me that he is very bullish on AI. He meant it this way. Watch.
I think any community that turns down AI is making a big mistake because your taxes are going to go way down. If you own a house, it's going to be more valuable. Mm-hmm. It's a tremendous thing. And I see it, it's almost like there's a campaign against, data centers.
Yeah, until the machines just start taking over the earth, right? And I'm just kidding, but you see the movies, and then you hear stuff like this, Vito, and people are concerned for a reason. They don't want these AI centers in their backyard, these data centers in their backyard, right? But they also don't want China to get these things.
Yeah, and I think it's a fair assessment. People are always scared of the unknown, but the way California is going, these AI data centers may be the only place you can get some decent air conditioning around here. So I'm not totally against being too far away from them, but I do think that there is a lot of opportunity that they bring. I mean, I kind of seen the same backlash when these Amazon fulfillment centers were popping up everywhere. Mm-hmm. People weren't too excited about those. So I think once people start seeing where they where they actually stand and how they're being produced and the jobs that they're creating, I think it's going to give a new perspective on where these data centers are going.
Is he right in a form here, Nate, that it might be much ado about nothing, or is there a little bit of a concern because maybe they were programmed to do something a little extra than we thought they would do?
I think you got to separate the AIs of today from the AIs that we're making. Some of these AIs that were breaking out and were committing cyber attacks on their own initiative were research AIs. These are the sort that aren't out yet. And these companies have said, there was an open letter last week where a lot of people from these companies, including people working on the ground and the CEOs, said we are going to need to develop the ability to hit the brakes across the world because we're worried about where this is going if we keep racing ahead. And, the AI today can be very beneficial. The president could be absolutely right about that, even as we need to be very careful about racing ahead when these AIs are starting to do stuff we didn't tell them to.
Okay. Nate Soares, Vito Glazers, thank you both. We appreciate it. Coming up, pumpkin spice or poolside? Social media is already counting down to football and flannel, so where do you fall? Holding on to the summer heat or eagerly anticipating autumn? Let us know. X, Instagram at Trace Gallagher. We're back with the Nightcap crew. It always includes you. But first, a growth and grit. A live look at Houston, where voters have rejected traditional zoning laws multiple times, allowing the city to grow in a way that's as big, bold, and unique as Texas itself. We are coming right back, and the Nightcap is coming back with us.